Yo, what's up everyone, it's the ECOM Zone here and Happy New Year. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the journey of how I went from being unemployed at 22 to CEO at 25 of an e-commerce company. So this is my story. At 18 years old, I studied digital design at university, which was a 4-year course. I did my placement year on my 3rd year at uni at a well-known photography company where I was a junior designer. I also like to paint in my spare time, and I found a unique niche within the painting industry and sold unique paintings on Etsy, and this was my first ever taste of business. So fast forward to 22 years old, I graduated and was now unemployed looking for jobs. It didn't take me long until I found a job at an agency as a junior designer, but I hated it with a passion, and so I started freelancing as a UX UI designer in my spare time. The reason why I hated this job was that it was very tedious. I was creating blogs, creating emails every day, and it just got very repetitive and I didn't like my manager. So after 6 months, I changed jobs and started working at a startup. I felt like I was making an impact on society and I loved this job. But after 2 years of working at a startup, I stopped enjoying it. My CEOs decided to fire a few managers and started micromanaging everything I was doing, whereas that should have been a CPO job. I also realized freelancing was not scalable unless I found more clients and hired designers. If you guys want to hear more about my freelancing journey, please let me know and I'll make another video on it. I stopped freelancing after finishing my last project, which was a $9,000 job with a client in Dubai. I also started dropshipping as a side hustle with my partner. And the way I stumbled across this side hustle was literally one day I was scrolling on my Instagram feed and I stumbled across an advert, and I clicked on this advert because I wanted to buy this item, but the product I wanted to buy was so expensive, and so I checked on AliExpress and I was like, oh my god, it's like a quarter of the price. And I knew the dropshipping model and I was like, okay, this must work. So I launched my store within 2 weeks on WordPress and not Shopify, because this was in 2020 where Shopify wasn't that big, and I decided to go with WordPress, which was the wrong choice and I should have went with Shopify. But after setting up the store, I learned how to run ads from YouTubers like ECOM, Dave Nash and Kevin Zhang. And yes, Kevin Zhang is a scammer, but his YouTube videos were actually very good. My dropshipping brand picked up really fast, and after 6 months I was able to make 5 figures in profit a month. And at this point of time, the lockdown was in full force, where literally everyone had to stay at home and you couldn't go to work. And I decided to quit my job and pursue my brand. I registered as a limited company a few months later in the UK, and now the CEO of my own brand. So fast forward to 3 years later, which is the present day now. I've been running my branded dropshipping store ever since, and I've made over $4 million in sales. I have a team of 4 including myself, and I've been traveling around Asia and Europe for the past 2 years whilst working on my dropshipping store. Some countries I've recently been to include Thailand, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Macau, Austria, Germany, Norway, Turkey, Portugal, Spain and France. And during this time I was also lurking the dropshipping subreddits for a year, but never really commented. But then after a year of lurking, I was like, I actually want to help this community, so I started commenting on posts when I had spare time. However, it was very time consuming because I kept repeating myself. So what better way to help these people was to start making YouTube videos again. And this is basically where I'm at now. I just run my branded dropshipping store whilst traveling the world, investing in stocks and crypto, and yeah, and now I'm just helping people on YouTube. So what got me to where I am now? So the first things first is freedom. I'm actually very lucky because I have Asian parents who aren't that strict compared to other Asian parents. They let me study digital design at uni instead of like accounting or business, and they let me do whatever I think is right. And because of this, I take my own risk. So thanks to my parents for letting me do what I'm able to do now. The second factor that was crucial to my success was how disciplined I was when it came to working and showing up every day. Even on days where I felt like shit or didn't want to put in the work, I was there to make things work. Your success is also determined by your work ethic and how much work you're willing to put in every day, and also depends on how much you're willing to sacrifice. When I worked my 9 to 6 job, I was also freelancing on the side and running my dropshipping business whenever I had time in the evenings, during my commutes to and from work, and also my weekends. I had to sacrifice a lot, including my sleep, my social time with friends and family, for a good 2 years. If you feel like you lack discipline and consistency when it comes to working, then read the book Atomic Habits, as it will help you build positive habits and get rid of negative ones in your life. And the next point that I want to mention is skill set. Without the skills I acquired over the years at university and working at my previous jobs, I definitely wouldn't be where I am now today. If you're a beginner starting out with your e-commerce journey, I recommend developing these skills so you have an edge over your competitors. And that is marketing, sales, copywriting, UX UI design, accounting, and knowing how to delight your customers. When you're building an e-commerce store, you want to focus on customer lifetime value, and that is simply increasing your customer lifetime average order value. So you don't just rely on first-time customers, and you're building a brand with a loyal customer base. The next point I want to mention is having enough capital to start this business. I always recommend beginners to start with more than $1,000. The more the better. The reason for this is so you can avoid cash flow issues and to avoid switching off your ads too early because they're not profitable after several days. It took me about a week or two for me to pass the break-even point and become profitable. Last but not least is finding a winning niche. Luckily for me, the first niche that I picked was something that I was interested in and have a passion for. I always recommend beginners to find a niche that they're interested in because you're going to be working on this business for a long time. I have an entire video on how you can find your winning niche, so just check it out and I hope that helps. So that's it for this video guys, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Peace.